Hi golfers, Nick here for Nick Taylor Golf. It's Friday, so welcome to another lesson on golf tips. This week on golf tips, we're going to talk about the weight shift with the driver and that weight shift swing. So definitely more moving parts in that weight shift swing. In the previous lesson, when we looked at the weight shift with the irons, there was definitely more control over that low point of the golf swing when I kept my weight to the left. However, today we are testing the driver. The ball's teed up. Maybe we don't need to control that low point quite as well. And a lot of players out there do struggle when they work on the stack and tilt system with their weight to the left. So we're going to go through some key pointers today to kind of help you golfers out there that do struggle with that. It's a very common question that I get on my channel on social media is about how they struggle to hit the driver using the stack and tilt system. So first up, we're going to go for the traditional golf swing. Weight back, shift it to the right, back to the left. Now I'm going to try and hit these as best as possible. And we're going to take a look at a comparison of the video afterwards, but first of all, we're just going to take a look at the ball flight and the data here on the screen. So as I set up here, I've got my weight pretty even, I'd say. Like, feels like it's a bit back compared to where I'd normally be, but I'm going to shift it to the right and then back to the left in the downswing. So weight pretty even on the feet here. It's got my tilt to my shoulders. This is my traditional golf swing. Okay, pretty good shot. You can see on the screen there, ball flight is pretty straight, pitched around 260, rolled out to 275. Caught that a bit low on the face, and certainly in practice there, I've caught some low shots on the face. Now, speed was good, 113 miles an hour. My tack angle, 6 degrees upwards. So for me, that's probably a bit too high, and I think that golfers are told to kind of hit up on their driver. Don't disagree. I think it depends on your speed. I think that when you look at PJ Tour players that swing at 113, they actually hit very level with their tack angle, 1.3 down. When you look at LPJ girls swinging slower at 96, they hit 3 degrees up. So there's definitely a correlation between speed and how much your tack angle should be up or down. I think certainly more up you are, the harder it is to control the face. So pretty straight path, 6 up though, and low on the face. Certainly in practice there, I was hitting some real top one, I think, in practice, just trying to work on that swing. So when I set up for my exaggerated weight forward swing, naturally as I widen my stance, it kind of creates more of a tilt to my shoulders. Now, I'm going to kind of maintain that tilt. I'm not going to lean my upper body forward here, which I think some players will do when they're trying to keep their weight to the left. I'm going to widen my stance, which pulls my head back. I'm going to push my hips, feel like my weight's pretty much 100% on my left side. It feels like there's no pressure really on this right foot. I'm going to keep it there, that weight, push it forward with my lower body and extend back as I go through to make sure I don't hit down on this drive. I want to be very level attack angle, like I mentioned. So same kind of width for stance and ball position, but this time I'm really pushing my weight to the left 100% and I'm going to keep it there in the backswing. So strike wise, slightly better. Similar sort of speed. Did give me slightly more inside path. You saw the first one there was around 0 path. This was 3.7 inside out, 1.6 up. Similar speed, basically the same, 112.5 speed. Distance was a little bit further on that swing, not for any particular reason other than the strike. I would say the strike was a bit better there. My tack angle was definitely slightly better. So I preferred that second flight. You can see the ball didn't spin up as much. It went pretty straight, at a very slight push draw to it, which is kind of what you'd expect when you work on the stack and tilt system. Certainly keeping the weight more left helps you swing your arms and club more around your body. I think that definitely with slicers out there, they tend to shift their weight too much in the backswing and they don't get it back forward enough. The impact you saw in the first swing, I managed to kind of move back through quite a lot. I almost lost my balance, but we're going to take a look at the two comparisons there of those two swings in a second on the video, just to show you guys what the difference is. But definitely makes it easier to swing around your body, keeping the weight left, than it does moving off the golf ball. And in my experience there's definitely more stability at impact with a strike when I keep my weight centered in the backswing rather than shifting it back and forth. You saw the two shots there, both around 113 miles an hour, a fraction faster when I shifted my weight. However, we saw a difference there in the shots. So the difference was my path was straighter when I shifted my weight, and my path was more inside out when I kept my weight more forward. And certainly in practice, I found the strike, keeping my weight more forward or as much as possible, was definitely a little bit more consistent for me. I tended to hit it very low on the face. When I shifted my weight, I tended to hit too much up, and in general it tends to have less control over the club face, as I mentioned. So your attack angle shouldn't be too much up, shouldn't be down really too much either. Should be quite a level attack angle. Generally when I have my weight 60% left, keep it there and kind of move forward and extend back in the finish, I tend to swing around 1 to 2 degrees into out and hit 1 or 2 degrees upwards, which is kind of what I aim for when I play. I think it's quite important because I think that a lot of people think you have to hit up on the ball a lot to hit the ball the furthest. Now I'm not saying that's not true. Certainly to hit the ball the furthest, hitting up, taking off the spin loft does help you hit more distance, but doesn't necessarily help you hit the fairway. There's a reason why the PGA Tour players hit very level or even slightly downwards with their driver attack angle. So now we're going to take a look at the swings here. So you can see I've got the yellow line on the left hand side. This is kind of my weight shift swing. So you can see a difference in my head position, and you can see a difference in my hip position on the right here. So my hips are more forward, my shoulders slightly more forward with my kind of weight forward swing. It feels very exaggerated. Certainly at setup may not look too much difference, but there's definitely some differences there. You can see just the width of stance is probably similar, but the hips set way more forward with the weight forward swing, and on the left there, this is kind of my 50-50 kind of setup. Now, the big differences are going to be in the backswing here, so I'm going to play these out together. So in the backswing there, you can see how I've shifted off that yellow line on the left hand side, so that's me shifting my weight as much as possible, whereas my weight forward swing, I keep my hips in front of that line. It's much easier for me to turn when I keep my weight forward. Keeping my weight forward is easier to turn, it's easier to keep my arm straight, and as we can see, it tends to swing more inside out. So that's the backswing, and then coming into impact there, you can see that at impact, again, my hips and my head's more forward on the right hand side at impact, which gave me that kind of slightly upward attack angle instead of that excessively upwards attack angle that we saw with the weight shift swing. And then into the finish there, you can see how I continued my momentum forward in that weight shift swing. So definitely more moving parts in that weight shift swing. Certainly for me, it didn't really make much difference to the speed, and I found I had more control when I kept my weight more forward. Now, like I said, this is more exaggerated than maybe I would do normally. The point here was really just to stress a point here for the video. So I'm going to play these out a couple of times so you guys can see this kind of at slightly slower speed here. It's going to play them out like I said to you there. You can really see a difference in the moving parts to the swing, and for me, definitely more consistent when I keep the weight more forward on the left at setup in the backswing and extend back into the finish. So hopefully this video helps, guys. I think there's some key points there talking about how it's still important to have a tilt to the shoulders at setup. It's important to extend backwards as you go through when you're working on the second tilt system with the drive. That's going to help you shallow that attack angle and swing more into out. So thanks for watching, golfers. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't already, please follow me on my other social media platforms, and I'll see you again next week for another video.